Wargameronline, the home of wargaming.
And here we are. Welcome to Monday Musing. You know I'm laughing. You just sit there and blink.
Yeah.
I think you've gone higher. You've hired your chair. Anyway, hello and welcome to Monday Musing. As you can tell, I've got Liam with me, and Liam's actually here.
And I'm here.
Which is a bit strange, but tonight's a bit of a channel catch-up. I'm just checking, actually, is the microphone working? Yes, it is. That's good news. Oh, Sam's in the chat. Hey, Sam, how you doing? While I'm here then, seeing as though I've covered the chat, I might as well say hello to everybody else as well. So we've got Patrick in there talking about some kind of new game, Vampire or something or other. So, what was it? Village Attacks? So check that out. According to Patrick, it's worth a check. Al Kirkham is in there. Al, good to see you back in the chat. Glad your replacement parts are doing so well for you, and good luck with the next one, sir. Jim Wilson is in as well. Coleman is in there. DJ the Lucky One. Hey DJ, I was actually just talking about some of your stuff. Moogie Pie is in there. Oh boy, John J, hello all. And Sam Stocks is in there saying yo, and then there's yo and a hi guys and a hello, which is brilliant. Yes, Coleman says you can hear us. So Liam's, well, you've joined me kind of almost by accident tonight. Given the disastrous internet connectivity we had in the last show, which was just quite painful experience for me, you needed to get some airbrushing done. So you've come over to get some airbrushing done. And then we kind of figured, well, it's a Monday night anyway, so you might as well hang around and say hello to everybody. So there you go. What's tonight's show about? It's I think 2 or 3 things. Little bit of a channel catch up. You know, Liam and a bunch of other people have been working super hard in the background, getting a whole bunch of content together. We've got the largest unreleased catalogue of videos that we've had in a long time, long time. So it's fantastic to be in that position. And this weekend I'm going to be setting the schedules up for all of those releases. So there's bat reps every week. We got a tutorial or 2 before Christmas, a whole bunch of unboxings, whole bunch of reviews. So it's pretty exciting, and there's a whole bunch of people I'd like to thank. We've had Coleman, who's in the chat there, has been working on editing. Liam to my side, editing away. Rich Mort's out there as well, who's probably done, I think it's fair to say, the most editing. He's been an editing machine. Absolutely brilliant, working away on some of the more challenging edits like bat reps and doing a sterling job of it as well. So thank you very much. Not to forget, of course, Ralph's done some editing. I'm absolutely certain, I don't think anybody's seen any of his edited videos yet. Editor. But you know, he's just keeping it on the down low at the moment. But you know, you will see some of his stuff. What I am going to be doing is I'm going to be changing the end screen credits to actually do what credits are meant to do, which is to to credit the people who have been involved in making the video. So that if it's a battle report, you know, for instance, we'll credit both players. We'll also credit who the producer was for the show, because every one of our battle reports has a producer sat at a desk doing all the mixing between all the cameras. And then finally, once those things are produced, the footage is transferred to an editor, and the editors do the final touch-up. So we've got an awesome team at the moment of people working really hard on getting more content out, and I wanted to acknowledge the work they're doing. So you'll see a change to the credit screen at the end as well. So and for those of you who hang around for the credit screen, so I know that's few and far between. Right. Hey Sam. Sam saying hi. Al, hope all is well. DJ the Lucky says you can't leave me hanging out. I was talking about your forum post actually. So and we'll come on to that later, because a little bit more to chat about on the channel. Then I was going to have a look at I think the Tale of 4 Warlords on the forum, which has just been quietly ticking away, building up a huge amount of content from a whole bunch of WGOers in the background there, which I'm hoping, Matthew, if you hear this, and I'll send you a message as a reminder. We agreed to get together to do a final battle in December, so December is just round the corner. I'm really looking forward to having you guys down to the studio. And then we had a little freak out to find out that you guys were at the doubles tournament anyway. Did you say hello? Did we say hello? It was a bit manic, but there you go. And it turns out a couple of you came second as well. So I was like, you guys were on stage. Anyway, so that's besides the point. John J says, at Phil, any chance I can buy a pre-printed funnel for the Citadel pots? Okay, the danger of me saying yes to this is I'll be inundated with requests. But you know what? Yes, that's fine. And the reason is, at the moment, I've got a 3D printer that's working night and day printing all sorts of stuff out. So what I will do is add, if I remember rightly, I can print 9 at a time. So will 9 do you? If so, drop me your email, contact me through Facebook. You'll find me on the Wargameronline community page. Drop me a message on that, drop me your postcode, and I don't know, just give me a couple of quid or something to cover the material cost, and we'll be good to go. And postage, assuming, yeah, wherever you are, as long as you cover postage, that'll be fine. And I'll print 9 out for you rather than 1, because it's a pain up the butt to print 1, and I can set 9 going all at once, so why not? And if anybody else wants to do that as well, I'll try and come up with a, you know, I can't spend my entire life printing funnels out, but I'll come up with a reasonable cost to make it worthwhile. Okay, Martin Dix says, been a while, so busy these days, and Elster Nation says, howdy ho. Well, welcome Martin Dix, welcome back to the chat. Liam, how you doing over there?
Pretty good.
You're looking a bit pale, to be honest. I think I've
I'm
the
just a
brightness.
generally pale human being.
Yeah, I've got a feeling it's the brightness on that camera. I'm wondering if I can do something about that. There you go. Oh, look at that. Look. There you go.
Oh,
there you go.
oh no.
You're rather like an 80s pop video. There you go. We'll just darken you down a little bit, I think. How about that?
Darkness.
This is how sophisticated we've become. I can just adjust colour contrast anytime I want. Judge Gudge is in the house saying, evening all, Elster Nation. I was thinking about you guys, Elster Nation, Judge Gudge, and of course Mr. Moggy. And I was thinking we ought to do a catch-up show as well. But I did consider talking to you about doing a show today. But of course, Moggy's gone off on his travels for a week, hasn't he? So he's disappeared again. So there you go. But maybe when he's back. And that's how Phil became known as the Funnel Man. There you go. Ah, dear. Yeah, look, I'm just going to set the printer going for like 24 hours and then share it between whoever says, hey, Phil, can I have a funnel? How about that? Right, so once we've had a bit of a look at the community and the forum side of WGO, we were going to chat a little bit about that, and then we were going to pop over to what's going off on Warhammer community. Because I have to say, I think the news over the last 4 or 5 days, it's just been mental. What a great time to be in the hobby. Delac, before we, you know, what a set of models. If you haven't seen that for Necromunda, amazing. Amazing. Just you know, we've got the new guys for Nightshade. Is it called Nightshade? Night Vault. Yeah, Night Vault, which is the
Dark Earth Warband.
Yeah, kind of barbarian warband. There's just so much for the modelers and converters out there. You know, I'm already looking at that Delight Gang and thinking Elite Guard for my Magus in GS Cult. You know, the Gene Stealer Cult. You look at those barbarians, and as a chaos player, you just go, I'd just do an entire army of those guys. You know, I mean, I think they're going to release about 8 models, so it'd be a bit of a stretch to kind of do an entire army, but certainly you could mess around with some conversions with your existing guys as well. Just be absolutely cool. So they're just releasing some great stuff at the moment. So yeah, what a brilliant time to be in the hobby, and we're going to check some of those out as well. So as usual, say hello in the comments. Let me know if you've seen anything exciting in the last 7 days since we last sat down for a Monday musing, and we'll pop along and check that out. So without further ado, really, what was I going to check out? Actually, okay, here we go. Will this work? Yes, it will. Liam's gone. Look,
Oh no, where have I gone?
So I was popping along to forum the other day, and it's always good to check out the forum because every now and then you just get some absolutely amazing stuff. So one of the things I wanted to look at, we've got this the Tale of 4 Cambridge Warlords, which I think is probably one of the most extensive blog posts and the longest running blog posts going in there, and it's incredible what these guys are doing. So this is page 6 of 6. So just to give you an idea of some of the, and for those of you who are not familiar with it, to cover some postage and packing for a random WGO who wishes to have some funnels that can't spare the cash. There you go, Martin. I'll pick someone in. I'll pick someone in your honour. Thank you very much, Martin. You've just purchased 9 Citadel paint pot funnels for a random person, but that's much appreciated, mate. I love that kind of random support as well. That's awesome. So back to the Warlord stuff. For those of you who don't know what Tales of Warlords is, and if you don't, where have you been? But essentially you start with 1 or 2 units, don't you, and you kind of roll and expand your force, and these guys have been doing this for, well, crikey, probably now? Well, if we go back to page 1, when did they start this? Did I? Yeah, that's it's ticking. It's going to take a while because I am streaming at the same time. So with the 2nd edition only weeks away, so this is way back in May they started this. This is Matthew, and then we see them right from the beginning of buying the Beastclaw Raiders start sets. We also see James getting into the Night Haunt. And I think there's a couple of other guys in there as well. Neil, who went the route of Iden of Deepkin. Yes, what an army. And then Tim, of course, who went Blightwall and all things Nurgle. So as you can see, they were all like posting their progress. I'm going to jump back to page 6 of this incredible forum post, because it's just gone on and on and on, and we've seen their armies build up. There's some amazing painting in this army as well, by the in this forum post. So do check out the work they've been doing, because they've done some stunning stuff, and I absolutely love their armies. It's brilliant. So we've got some Iden of Deepkin in there. That's the Soul Scryer, I think. And then the Wiggly Worms, I think.
Wiggly Worms.
I think that's what they're called. The Wiggly Worm Spear people. And hold on a minute, where's he come from? Okay, so we've probably got some. It will be in there, won't it? So I think we've got a little bit of Incanter, Knight Incanter help coming along for the Idenif, maybe. So as you can see, they've recorded their story, and I'm actually going in reverse now, because if you go to the top, we can actually see the work they've been doing, the units they've been choosing. We, interestingly enough, attended the same tournament, and I must have been miles away, because we missed this completely. But the guys got 2nd place, above Liam and Jack. 1 place above Liam and Jack.
1 place.
But you know, so we're on stage only moments after you. Was it done in reverse order? It was done in reverse order. And I think we were so busy giggling and laughing at your rather unexpected success, we completely missed this. So apologies that we didn't get to say hello. I am very much looking forward to seeing you guys in December. If we all manage to get it together and get down the studio and record a battle report, it's going to be absolutely brilliant. So very excited about all of that, and 4 amazing armies, and congratulations on your 2nd place at the tournament. You were the guys with the name that was nigh on impossible to pronounce. And
they abbreviated it.
Yeah, they abbreviated it on stage, and just spoiled the fun, really. You needed to see them having a go at it, didn't you, really? But good stuff. So if you haven't been on to the forum, and if you haven't checked any of this out, you definitely need to do so. The Tale of 4 Cambridge Warlords, huge post, a lot going off, and really good fun. And I've had a good sit down and read the other night. I was laid in bed, and I wooed myself to sleep just reading about armies being made and battles being fought and all the rest. So it was great stuff. Also, let's see what's going off in the chat quickly before I go on. So Martin Dick saying you're always welcome. Thank you very much. And David Ellis has joined us. Hiya peeps. Hey David, how you doing? So I think David's one of the new chaps along. We met at the tournament, so absolutely brilliant. DJ the Lucky One, a big grin. And Coleman said, did I mention that every time you like and subscribe, Apprentice Contest gets slapped in the face with a dead herring?
Okay.
Right, moving on. Thordelin. Thordelin was in there, and I'm loving this. And it's all about the graphics for me. So Thordelin, on-screen graphics, I'm always a big fan. You might be able to tell with all this stuff going off. So when you start talking about you getting back into the swing of things, painting a Space Wolf army, a lot of unopened boxes, jumped onto Kill Team. Check out the commander. And this is my favourite bit. My favourite bit is the writing at the bottom. Space Wolf Kill Team Commander. And then it goes on like, Reaver. And then it's like, Reaver Sergeant. I just loved it. Cyber Specialist. You know what? And I'm loving the models as well. But I was more excited about the little labels on each one. Tactical Marine Gunner. Nice. Drilling out the barrels. Love to see work like that. And I think, is that one of the intercessors from... Might have been from the magazine, mightn't it? But then obviously bits of parts from all over the place. Bit of Space Wolves. We've got some nice little... I was going to say green stuff work, but it looks like... is that milliput? That might be milliput work, but I think you can still call it green stuff. I think we're okay with that. And then this commander model's awesome. Love the beard. The beard's amazing.
Is that a dwarf head?
You know what? I think that is... that's a Fireslayer head, because these tassels here are in the end of the Fireslayer beards. So
okay.
Bravo, sir, for going outside of the allotted genre and pulling in a Fireslayer head. If anybody wants Fireslayer heads for their Space Wolves, drop a message. I'll stick some in an envelope, because I've got like 10,000 Fireslayer heads. Really is starting to turn into a Fireslayer graveyard here. Right, anybody fancy adding wings to a Gilliman model? Ooh, that's interesting.
Demon Prince
might
Gilliman.
upset a few of the purists, but why not? Sure, hobby mate, you do it. I am building can I reach the parts? I don't think I can get to the parts. Help me out here. What's the is it the Prime? No, the Prime. The
Celestin Prime.
Celestin Prime. I'm doing a Fireslayer version of the Celestin Prime. So instead of it being Stormcast, it's going to be a Fireslayer who's just mega powered up with flaming wings and all that kind of stuff.
A small beardy man with wings.
Well, he's going to be quite big, because he's going to be like swollen with power.
A big beardy.
I think the body I'm thinking of using is like an orc body, but with like the dwarf bearded head, and then smaller hands though, so he's not just crazy orc, but you know. Anyway. The parts are all in a tub. It's very, very exciting. But needless to say, do check out Thordelim's stuff. Absolutely brilliant little post. And we've also got, I think Neil as well is working on... So Neil is working on the Conquest blog. And we again, some awesomely painted miniatures. Having lots of fun with a little bit of Nurgle love. Nice and bright. Loving it. Every minute of it. And there's some, like I say, if you've not checked out the forum, do check it out, because you're missing out on a great bunch of progress shots. See what people are doing on the channel, see what they're working on, and more importantly, you can actually upload sort of full resolution images as well, so you get a chance to have a proper look at the models and stuff, rather than kind of always kind of work on Facebook and then it disappears off your feed and all the rest, doesn't it? We've also got Daryl working on the Grand Alliance and getting some serious old school miniatures out. So that's the old school Dark Elves, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. Check them out. So cool. I'm starting to think old school is cool. I reckon it was hanging around with Rob for a couple of weeks. Just made me get into old school a bit too much. And then DJ. So we've got your piece on Stygies project. So this is just awesome, because there's some serious Mechanicus work going off here as well. So if you haven't checked out this, you definitely want to check out this stuff. They look absolutely brilliant. I love these guys. They're amazing.
Robots of
it's
death.
just nice to see them done well as well. You know what I mean, with the little scratches and stuff like that, the little battle damage and stuff. It's great. Those guys done really well, because they do look as like unwell as I expected them to look. You know, those guys are pretty much animated corpses by the time they've got to that stage. So I just think it looks great. And yeah, really cool Mechanica stuff. I think I've done full circle, but I'm going to end on my favourite stuff. And I think that's it. I think I picked the top or the latest 6 updates or something like that. But there's literally hundreds and hundreds of stuff on here. So do go check it out. I mean, we've got 336 posts over 47 topics just on the introduction of yourself. We've got things like an off-topic section where you can just talk about nonsense. There's events where we're talking about that. People, if they want to list things for sale in there, you can go check it out. Retailers can advertise. You can ask questions to us and those kind of things. And there's fan fiction. There's all sorts of stuff going off. The one thing I do need to do is the WGO Chronicles shutdown. Yeah. Because it is over and I've not done a full review. But I want to do... I'm going to do a 2-hour show and go through the lot. So that will be... It won't be a Monday musing. We'll pick a night, probably a Thursday night, and do a full 2-hour show and go through the whole thing. So I want to do some prep. So that's the plan on all of that lot. Right, what have we got going off in the chat? Frost and Frisk says, "Woot, Space Wolves represent." I think we missed that. Plastic Hoarder, a little bit of a plastic hoarder. Demon Prince of the Emperor. Oh dear. There you go. So I think we've caught up with the chat. It's nice and quiet in the chat tonight, which is fine. I don't mind that. But you know, what else are we going to be looking at? I think we also said we would take a look at what's going off on the Warhammer community. So, Liam, anything you spotted so far this week? What's caught your eye?
Just a lot of the new Chaos stuff. It's just unexpected Chaos stuff that we weren't really expecting, really. We were expecting, like, grots and other stuff and more Shadespire stuff. But all this Chaos stuff has just popped out of nowhere.
So is this the stuff that they reviewed? I think I've got it here in the studio preview. We've got Blood and Glory Studio Roundup. So this was the Blood and Glory event. We had a Destruction teaser.
That's the...
If you haven't seen that. Considering how Jack reacted to playing against Squigs, he fell off his chair at this one.
Yeah.
He had a proper giddy. He had an absolute giddy moment. He was just like, "Oh, it's going to be Squigs, and it's going to be mushrooms." It's just like
losing it,
dude. We were chatting about this earlier. You can still get the battle scrolls for this in the download section for the legends, but it's really just aimed at narrative and open play. And you've kind of passed on this, haven't you?
Yeah.
You're kind of saying,
I mean, it's a really cool model, but I'd sort of buy models to play with them instead of just looking cool. Whereas some people might just buy models to paint them like Judge Grudge. I'm very much like a mixture of both.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay. But, Realm of Chaos, this is the Wrath and Rapture. So we've got, are these new?
Yeah, they're new. They're based on the, you know, the Mighty Lord of Cornut, the first Age of Sigmar set.
Of course.
His Flesh Hound.
Yeah.
A load of people would just buy multiples of him and then just convert them up. But with an actual, like, I'm assuming these are multi-part now. Which looks simply superb.
I can only assume so. They do look great, actually, don't they?
They look awesome.
I love this little drop-down jaw fin bit. Kind of makes them look like, you know, like threatening sort of. Bit of.
The one on the far left kind of reminds me of the Dilophosaurus out of Jurassic Park.
I was just going to say it's a bit Jurassic Park. There's a lot of influence on some of the stuff in GW recently. So we got Jurassic Park. We've definitely got 50 Shades of Plastic. Going off with the Slaanesh stuff. So these are in that box set, aren't they? This is Khorne. Is it Khorne versus
Slaanesh, I believe.
Slaanesh, yeah. Great looking models. This reverse leg here is so... Anytime you see something like that, it's so disturbing. It reminds me, there's an old horror movie from, oh crikey, 80s, I think, Extro, which had this kind of weird... Somebody got mutated horribly, you know, some weird thing took over them, and it turned into a creature that did this backward walk. It was very, very disturbing. So when you see that, it just freaks you out a little bit, these reverse knee joints.
Definitely.
Yeah. So strange. We also have the Chapter Approve Reveal trailer as well, which was really nice to see John in there. John Ashton, who used to be a blogger, he used to be a big-time blogger and now works for their community team. So he's the one that opens the book, and his face that's made me chuckle. So that's good.
Looted Wagons
back in as well, which is you know, again, obviously people are a little bit like, you know, I want my Looted Wagons, so of course they've allowed for it. You know, why not? And how cool does that conversion look, by the way?
That looks really cool.
It's exactly what you want for orcs. You know, this is the army I never did.
Wow.
Farsight, though, I was going to do the Farsight Enclave because I really, really like the colour scheme, and I quite like the models, to be honest. So that's one of my army regrets, and I haven't got time to do it. I'm not going to even kid myself. I did buy a bunch of Tau, and then I gave it to Pink. Pink did one battle report.
It was like, no more.
That was the end. It was the end. He was never playing them again. And then we've got the Vigilus next chapter release, and if anybody who's a fan of David Lynch's Dune, you'll probably recognise the homage, shall we say, to a bit of David Lynch intro titles there. But absolutely brilliant. Looks very interesting. Looks like a very troublesome planet or sector, doesn't it? There's pretty much everything hitting it. We were kind of going through it. There's orcs on there. There's Genestealer Cult. There's Chaos Cult Uprising.
Dark
Eldar was hinted at. Which, in fairness, that could be Inari sort of. You know, it could be that way, couldn't it? But without a doubt, oh come on, these guys are amazing. They're so sort of Blanchitsu's, you know,
they're very gaunt.
I think I don't only just like the models, I like what they represent. The fact that 40k universe has got the room for these guys now. When you add that to Rogue Trader, you've got the Necromunda gangs, you've got all the cool little stuff coming out, Kill Team Commander and stuff like that. To me, this is just, you know, right now, I was chatting to some of the guys down at the club because we want to get some 40k recorded. We've got a chunk of Age of Sigmar. We've got, I think, about 3 40k battle reports filmed ready for release. And I was saying we definitely need more. I think a great way to get people, because the scene around here is definitely quite heavily Age of Sigmar, isn't it? But we just need to get people playing Kill Team, because it just gets you back into that 40k narrative again. As soon as I played Kill Team, I started listening to the audiobooks again, and I was in like Ravner Returns, Ravner Rogue, Ravner Rogue, and Ravner Return. I've nailed all three just back to back, and I'm so into the 40k universe now. But the 40k universe that looks like this, not the 40k universe that looks like, so, you know, the kind of Marines and stuff like that. You know, I get what they've done with Primaris, and I actually quite like the Primaris models. But this side of 40k, just give us more and more of this. Give us hive battles and, you know, cultist uprisings, and, you know, make it possible, and take it from Kill Team and expand it up into the main game as well. You know, just, and you know what? And if GW don't do that, fine. You know, gamers need to do it. You know, just add these. Like I say, I'll quite happily add these to Genestealer Cult, and for a narrative play them as they are. You know, play them with their stats. You know, so they're kind of just a separate little cult faction within, and just put some ridges on their heads and stuff. But just so cool. And I think Necromunda is one of those gems of the GW portfolio that just it deserves more attention. I know it's got like quite a big play base, but if you play 40k and you haven't had a go at this yet, just get yourself a gang, paint them, get playing. And if you know, if you don't fancy picking up an entire new system, give Kill Team a shot as well. And you know what, if you haven't played 40k for a while and you've just got, you know, absorbed into Age of Sigmar, just pick up some of your old models, get someone to show you how Kill Team works, put a gang together and go for it. Other than that, this was kind of one that you mentioned. Yeah. This guy's a beast. There's something retro about this guy. Can I do that? Was that pop up? Yeah, that's great. There's something really retro about this guy. I don't know whether it's the kind of Conan the Barbarian chin or something like that, or I don't know. But I love it. I love it. I love his axe. It's ridiculously huge. It's brilliant. But, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 models with the dog, with the hunting hound. clearly aimed at Shadespire.
Definitely.
Or, I mean, well, and they openly admit that. But they are going to provide you with a war scroll, so you can add it to your Chaos armies. I mean, it's interesting. You can have a hunting pack amongst the Beastmen.
Yeah.
It'd be perfectly fine. Just a cool little thematic thing amongst it all. Obviously wearing fur pelts and stuff, which, just from the Beastman that got in his way or something. And we've got command roster coming. So that's Kill Team command roster coming soon. Can't wait for it. It's not the end of the world. It's not a super complex system, but anything like that really helps. Underworld deck builder, really interesting expansion of that. Warhammer Heroes, which I thought was an absolutely brilliant thing they did. I'm slightly confused though. Almost ready for round 2, so that'll be some kind of announcement with it around Warhammer Heroes. Couldn't quite make out what they were talking about. As in, it's still going on basically, is it? I think. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be a year where you get your name added to this. Whereabouts is that in Warhammer World? Have you seen it?
I've not.
Or is
seen
that
it.
a virtual thing?
It might be just a virtual thing. I'm not actually sure about it.
It looks like it's on the wall at Bugman's, but that panel in there, that looks like the wall at Bugman's, but maybe not. All right, anyway. Oh, there you go. It's not there yet. It's not there yet. And of course, Voxcast. They're relaunching, aren't they? Their podcast with Stormcast and Voxcast. So very cool. Been listening in on those definitely, and then we've got this event exclusive. And it just didn't stop, did it? Because we've also got Blackstone Fortress, which I've spent enough time ranting and raving about Rogue Trader, just one of my favourite sets with my favourite models, and then they go and do this to me.
Eldar,
come on, I've had 2 reactions to this model. One, it's the most amazing Ranger model, or in fact, full stop, it's the most amazing Eldar model.
Yeah.
To date. Is just absolutely stunning, and it's everything that the Eldar should be. And then my second reaction was, why can't all of them look like that? Please sort out the aspect warriors, but even Guardians, I mean, can you imagine with this all new style now, with things
similar to Cabalite Wars?
There's so much, because the technology's moved on, there's so much room for them to do flow of movement and stuff, and you kind of go back to some of the earlier models, and obviously there's quite a lot of technical limitations, so you see something like that and it just makes you desperately want the rest. But of course it's going to be one model. It's definitely going in my Eldar Ranger team anyway. It's suddenly leapt to the front. It's just an amazingly beautiful model, but we'll be getting Blackstone. Absolutely stunning set. Very, very intriguing in terms of how it works, or what I've read of it so far, so really excited about that. And it didn't stop there. There's a bit of love for everyone. This is very cool. And again, all of these,
chaos.
I just hope that, like I say, you'll definitely be able to use them in your kill teams.
Definitely.
That's the thing, because that's a perfect model to just carry over to kill team as well. But so's that. I think you can use a Munitorian priest, I think, in kill team. You can definitely have some chaos dudes.
Yeah.
These are new chaos
Space Marines.
Space Marines. What do you think?
They look very Dark Vengeance Chosen sort of route, but a lot bigger. Which
I mean, if that's the 32mm base, they're Primaris sized,
like
aren't they?
Death Guard, which is what you're really looking for with the new chaos stuff, really. Just bigger, bulkier, and not like they were.
Yeah, I think really good. Nice. I know it sounds daft, but nice detailing on the fingers and stuff. I do like to see it when they kind of get their hands right, and it's kind of
potato it.
Yeah, look good. I'm
pretty sure there's another post with more models from that box set as well.
In
the community.
Okay. Well, we'll have to check that out while I have a quick recap of the chat. Let's have a quick look. David says, I don't know if Lucas got hold of you guys, but you mentioned before about coming up for a battle report. How do we go about organising that? Yes, I believe he's already in touch. I'm talking to 2 or 3 people from the tournament, and I'll be producing like a schedule of dates for everybody. I've asked when people are available, and people have given me like, I can do weekends, I can't do weekends. I can do evenings, I can't do evenings, I can do daytime. So I've got to kind of match all of that together and try and say, okay, well, we can do you this weekend, and then the team after we can do midweek by meeting down in the studio on an evening or something like that. So, ooh, hello. That's very strange. So I will be in touch, and I think I've replied to everybody who's got in touch with me. Definitely, I'm pretty certain I have. So if that's not the case, send me a reminder. But I'm pretty certain I've replied to everybody saying, right, okay, what dates can you do? What days can you do? All I've got to do now, tomorrow night, we are filming. I think we're filming Blood Bowl tomorrow night. Jack's playing Blood Bowl, isn't he? So Jack's playing Blood Bowl. Liam's producing, which is brilliant because it essentially gives me a night off. And I'm going to be using that night to plan out all of these battle reports, get some updates done to the website, crikey, everything else. Yeah. So expect to hear at least some options for dates and stuff to get together. Like I say, I'm really hoping to talk to the tale of 4 Cambridge Warlords, because we also need to get their battle report in for December as well. So, right, okay, what else have we got? Wargamer Viking says, "Hey up, boys!" Hey up, Viking. How you doing, man? It's good to hear from you. Moogie Pie says, "I can't wait for the new Slaanesh release in the future. The rumored Harp Herald on Slaanesh side is in that box. Is interesting." Ooh,
and Karanak, I believe.
Karanak as well.
So they did a cover picture of box set. They had Karanak in the top left, but there was a Herald sort of thing in the middle of it, but it was like more the fiends it was actually focused on, so you didn't really notice it. Right,
one of those little sneaky reveals that they don't quite show you but do. Martin Dick says, "Sisters, too right, sisters." You know, they in the chapter approved, they've talked about essentially giving you a mini dex, or at least a full codex as far as units are concerned at a beta release. But you know, one will assume that's going to, you know, include stratagems and all the rest as well. It's got to for it to make any sense. So that's really cool. I know that Sisters is definitely one of those armies Jack wanted to do. He got a bunch of the lead and he just couldn't kind of bring himself to do it. He was like, "Oh, I'll wait for the plastic," and sold it all at a great loss to his own pocket. Coleman says, "I'm so happy for all the non-Age of Sigmar releases. Finally a chance not to spend as much money." If it ain't Dwarf, it ain't Coleman. That's what I've discovered, basically.
We just need to make space dwarves now, like squats.
Oh, don't get him onto that. Right, okay then. Wikipedia says, "I feel like the 40k narrative got so dull with the latest releases. I'm just not interested in the Imperium." Yeah, I mean, I have to say, I haven't really kept close to the latest narrative inside all of the books and stuff. You know, I think the last stuff I read was, you know, the whole Gilliman
riding around space with his posse of custodians
and Eldar. That's the bit I was on, which was I can't remember the name of that series. It's all up there somewhere. But
was it the Gathering Storm?
Oh, it may well. Yes, the Gathering Storm. Is it something like that? Yeah. And something of the Primarch as well. The book's up there, but I can't quite read it. So that was the kind of last of the latest stuff. And I have to say, after that, when I really got back into it was when Rogue Trader came out, and I kind of dipped. I love the story of the Rogue Trader. I love the background story to that box set, and I'm currently designing 3D STL models of the walls of the interior of that ship, and I want to build that ship as a gaming board, basically. And I know it's kind of limited because you can play. Well, it's still a cool little place. So I'm just going to build the ship. That's going to be my Christmas project. Over Christmas, I'm going to build that ship.
Build a ship.
I thought it'd be cool for battle reports, but also just be cool. Basically, I'm going to do the outer of the ship as well.
So you could have
you literally,
landing.
Just get a space map down and put that ship on it and play Rogue Trader games. It'll be awesome. So I'm definitely onto that. And of course, as I've done with things like the funnels, I'll just stick the STL files up on the premium section for people to download as well. Right, what else was there? DJ the Lucky One, that pose is awesome. I think, I'm not quite sure what we were talking about there. Maybe the Eldar. Moogie Pie says, Crew Boy is the best boy in the set. The crew is very cool, actually. Eldar Ranger looks fantastic. Ratlins, says DJ the Lucky One. I think they've kind of almost done something for everyone in there. The Ratlins look amazing, don't they? I mean,
there's Beastman as well.
There is Beastman as well. I couldn't remember the Beastman in there.
It's unboxed, I think.
Which one's that one there?
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a look at this then. Should we get this back up? Look, the models. Oh, here we go. So we've got a full set of sprues.
Those are the coolest, I believe. This looks interesting. It's got a random
so
robot.
You're right.
There.
The crew is absolutely cool. That robot, which looks decidedly non-mechanicum, doesn't it? There are design hints in the shoulder pads. There are definitely design hints in the lower sort of flare section there. I love that these guys, the Ratlins, are wearing the Scion chest armor as opposed to the Astra Militarum chest armor. So they're just like double hard Ratlins basically, with cyber hair on their feet.
It's a weird hammerhead shark lady.
I mean, yeah, just awesome. Some kind of weird navigator, and of course this dude.
That dude's awesome.
Rogue Traders. They're just the coolest things ever. They're just out there in the universe, just like
doing their thing.
Exactly.
And
then on the Gribbly side of it, we've got weird aliens.
Got Ulgars.
Weird
Dark Eldar.
Yeah,
or are they Drakari now?
They're Drakari, I think, aren't they? Yeah. And then we've got some Beastman dudes waving their swords around. Nothing wrong with that. A few Chaosy dudes. What are these guys going off? These are the cultists, aren't they?
They're the guardsmen cultists.
Which look awesome. By the way, I love that some of the guardsmen, in absence of a mutation, have simply welded spikes onto their shoulder pads. So they look like they've got the shoulder.
We're totally chaos, mate. Yeah, we'll fight with you.
I love it again. Just great stuff. Great stuff. So it's come on, it's going to be amazing, isn't it? Absolutely cool. Let's have a look at the background of this one then. So okay. Anyway, right, I'm not going to get into reading this. We've got a live show going on, otherwise I'll just fade out. I do like how the board completely reconfigures and stuff as well. That's really clever. Okay, well, there you go. Blackstone Fortress is a great Christmas present for everyone, but also on top of that, we've of course got some of the Christmas stuff up for release already. There's the new grip. It was one of those things that the Citadel grip, I remember when they first announced them, it got a lot of sniggers from people.
Yeah.
And then people started using them and going, actually, this is really, really useful. And I love the fact they've expanded the range now. So they've done a larger version, haven't they? So you can kind of handle things like magma drops and stuff like that. I think it goes that big?
It extends, so it's that big.
It extends, doesn't it? Yeah, it's incredible. So, really good idea.
Gluing models together and keeping it in the pose.
Yeah, for like sub-assembly and stuff like that. And there are definitely some stuff where that'll be really useful. And I think it's, I've got helping hands and stuff, but then you have to hold the model separately.
Yeah.
I love the fact that this thing, you center hold the model. It's also, you can pick it up and move it around a bit, and you'll be able to position the parts, just dob the glue on there, let it set for 2 minutes. The only problem is, of course, is generally you work on a unit of 5 at a time.
Yeah.
So it really makes you want to have 5 of those things. And I think they retail at £12.
I think I need 10 of them.
No,
not anymore.
I know what you mean. Yeah, that's the problem. But at £12,
Yeah, I ain't spending 120 quid on. I ain't spending that much money.
Okay, so what else have we got going up in the chat? I think CM, Mr. Mawson said, passed my driving test recently, so the next time you folk want to participate in a battle port, I'll be interested in that. Well, there you go. That's all. Well, message me and let me know whereabouts you are and when you can get here. Just give me what nights you can do, whether you can do weekends, whether you can do daytime, or whether you can do evenings, and then we will make it happen. Rolling Thunder says hi from Alberta, Canada. Hi, Rolling Thunder. Awesome name. Thanks for joining us. I wonder if you can make it to a battle report as well, but let me know what days you're available. You'll be welcome. Moog Pie says more Orc Fluff and Bucks, just something other than Imperial. The Orc release was brilliant. We were at Warhammer World, weren't we? And they had the cars fully painted up.
All the cars were pretty nice.
They just look amazing, man. Right, how are we doing for time? We're 1:45, I think, unless anybody else says anything. Oh, I tell you what, there was something else we wanted to have a look at before we call it a night. So we've probably got about 10 more minutes. There's a couple of things that have been going off, so we wanted to have a quick look at what's on the desks. Is this going to work? Yeah, this is going to work. So I'm working on
Magma Draft.
the last of the 2 magma drafts, basically. So these are only blue tacked on their base because the base needs a hell of a lot of work yet, but you get the idea. So these are for the rune suns. As you can see, there's a little rune sun riding along there. I think he's just balanced on at the moment. So early days on those, but they've got much lighter colour because the rune suns magma drafts are lighter. I have been 3D printing a new base. Oh, broke that. I've got a new base going off here as well. So this is a bunch of stuff, and I've got some new little tokens, runic empowerment and stuff. Again, I'm going to put these STL files up on the Wargameronline.com because I realised I hadn't uploaded these. So if you want little tokens for Fire Slayers, we've got like Weapon Breaker, Runic Empowerment, and Molten Rock Bolts. So they're all there, and if you haven't seen the painted versions, check out any of the battle reports featuring Fire Slayers. You'll definitely see them. This was actually a base that I did for my Runefather, and what I've done is just tweak some of the elements of it, and this is getting the reverse, basically. This is going to have, I can pop this fellow off, this is going to have a kind of a magma drop descending down the slope. Let me see if I can hold it so you can get an idea. But I'm going to have to completely change. You've got to change the poses a little bit. But the idea is it's kind of scaling down that bit. It looks far more impressive in real life than it does on camera, I have to say. This tail is going to be taken completely round this side. So there's a lot of work to be done on that one as this tail curls round like that to get it above that. And that is going to have Rune Smiter, I think, or a Rune Sun. I've not yet decided because, of course, I am working on my Grand Rune Smiter conversion
What
as
about
well.
a Rune Grandfather?
Oh, this is just too much. It's too much to ask of me, Liam. Right, test objects. We've got. Look at this. This is what. This is. The man, they're so big.
Gold.
So these are Liam's Custodes, which he came here to get base coats on, basically. That's insane. That gold is truly insane.
Gold.
Let's just check this guy out. Gold. Always believe in your gold. Yeah, that's amazing. It's actually worked really well, hasn't it? It's super shiny. Definitely. So that's your base coat, basically, for your Custodes. And there are dozens of these little fellas hanging around. So he came over here and we just really absolutely hit them,
drown them
through the airbrush, drown them in the brightest, shiniest gold we could be. You really wanted a kind of slightly alternate effect, didn't you? You wanted them...
Not your orangey standard gold.
Yeah, not the orangey standard gold. So that is amazing.
Out.
We did a little test on the shoulder pad. Have you got that over there? So while I was airbrushing, Liam was just trying a little bit of... yeah, is that going to focus? Maybe over zoomed, but okay, let's just do that. So that was just a quick test with Agrax gloss, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I think as one coat is fine, but there's work to be done. But you can see how those things are still maintaining that really bright sort of gold, which is what you wanted. So interesting stuff. So that's what's going off on the desk at the moment. There's this monstrosity. We're going to open this for public debate. I'm going to have to zoom out onto this monstrosity. Liam's been asking for feedback on this bad boy for some time. What is this?
Oh, it's a Gorgon for my Beasts of Chaos. So I wanted it to be a centre Gorgon. So it's like...
It's weird, isn't it? Because like that, it kind of works,
yeah.
I think. But then when you turn it like that, it's these really wide sort of hips.
Yeah.
So my suggestion so far is to actually almost stunt it. So bring its gut area down to about there. So you've just got its gut leading into there, which means you chop away all of this back, and then that you can blend these shoulders almost into it. So it's just really sort of hench. But you will have to kind of, I think, probably chop the arms and move them up out of the way, because I think the arms are going to be in the way. So you're just going to have to
Or even get rid of the arms
chop them
completely.
off. I don't know. Maybe because you've got these as well, haven't you? That's actually probably not a bad call, really.
The green stuff.
In fact, actually, it gives you an idea of how it would look if it was just... If you took that and moved down, it'd be there, wouldn't it, sort of thing, which I think would work a lot better. But, answers on the postcard, please, if you've got any advice for Liam and how to make his monstrosity work. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's chaos. Oh, dear. That's
I think...
Okay.
Magma
Just gonna
Drop.
leave him kissing the magma drop off camera there. So there you go. That's what's on the hobby desk this week. Let me see if I can get the right thing. Right. Okay then. So back in the chat for a little bit, and then we're going to call it a night because I've got to drive you home yet. You've got to pack up a bunch of incredibly golden boys.
Gold.
Look at that. It's just every camera I put it on, it doesn't matter. They're just
shines.
so. That's ridiculous. That gold. That's broken. It's broken the camera. It's so gold. Let's have a quick look at what's in the chat, and we might call it an early night if that's okay with everybody else. So, Rolling Thunder says, what 3D printer do you use? How smooth and detailed can it be? Okay, well, I have two 3D printers. The first is the AnyNet i3 Mega, and that is, you know what, I will bring it up for you so you can see. Hold on a minute, mate. Sorry about this. Right, okay, so here's an example. Now, bear in mind that this is printed on the most coarse setting, because actually for my bases, I don't mind that they're coarse because I just want them out of the printer quick. And then I do all sorts of textures. I put texture paints on there and stuff like that. So it's really designed as a framework for work to be done. But you get an idea from there. I'm going to zoom right in. I'm going to be incredibly unforgiving to my 3D printer because, like I say, this is the coarsest quality it prints at. So this is at 0.2 millimeters a layer. I'm hoping that it's going to catch a focus. There you go. So 0.2 millimeters a layer. This printer can actually go to 0.05 millimeters. So for every line you see, there could actually be 4 lines. But there are some things that you'll notice, like little wavy lines and those kind of things that you get just as they're, because it's kind of moving around and stuff. And then if you look at that top surface, you'll see one thing it doesn't handle very well is very gentle slopes, because obviously it's doing them in steps, if you like. But like I say, I'm on the coarsest setting, so that's what you get basically. But if I was to give you an example of I had a wee panic there. I thought the thing that fell off the back of my desk was my base. Let's just give you an example. Let's bring that in. So as you can see, I had texture on top of it. Zooming out a little bit. So I had texture to it, and then I had plants, and I had all sorts. So there's texture paint on there, and then I had plants and all sorts of little bits and bobs in there as well. And this is actually sort of
Magma.
water effect magma sort of thing. So that's only the base stuff. I've done a tutorial on doing the bases like this, so that will be out shortly. But again, that's just the base level. I can't get to my magma drop right now, but what I do is I add skulls and plants and stuff like that. And by the time you've done all of that, it's brilliant. So this is perfectly good as like a base that you actually design upon, if you like. But the other printer I've got, and this is still very, very early days, so this is the AnyNet Photon. So the Photon works in a completely different way, and as you can see, the quality of this thing is just insane. So this is like an SLA printer basically, so it's super high quality. I can zoom in, but I don't think I'll get this camera to the point where you'll be able to see. It's going to lose its, I can keep trying, it's going to lose its focus. So that's as close as I can get to it. But let me just put something. There you are. So if you can see that, and then if I put something like, say, the end of a brush next to it, it gives you an idea then of how fine that printer is. But the bigger printer, let's bring you all back to Liam. The bigger printer can print a 20 centimeter by 20 centimeter by 20 centimeter cube, so quite big areas. And obviously in slicer software you can put stuff back together again, so you can do even bigger stuff if you want. Whereas that prints a That
Fuel.
that prints it's about, I think, 10 centimeters by 15 centimeters by 15 centimeters, something like that. Might be 8 centimeters by 12 by 15, something like that. It's much smaller, but then that's exactly what that's for. So an example of what I'm using that for, I am currently sculpting, excuse me, in 3D software. I am sculpting, camera, zoom. We were meant to be calling it a night, weren't we? So in 3D software, I've got this grandfather dragon that I'm working on. This is for my Great Rune Smiter, and the idea is that is a big forge. So it's going to have a hammer, anvil, and a working forge behind in between these two chimney stacks. I'm sculpting all of that in 3D software and printing it, and it will drop in between these original Games Workshop parts. So that will obviously be printed in that quality, as opposed to broke the Im's model. Never mind.
Those are necessary.
Okay, so there you go. A rather lengthy question. 2 printers, basically. Both of them really good, and both of them depending on what you're doing. Obviously, for printing out the terrain, I talked about building the ship from Rogue Trader, the interior, doing all the walls and stuff. Then I'll definitely be using that printer for that. But I might use the other printer for little detail bits and consoles and stuff like that. There you go. Whew. Hi. No, Rolling Thunder says... That was Rolling Thunder. David says, I just threw my current projects into the Introduce Yourself section of the forum. Thank you very much, David Ellis. That's brilliant. I will check those out later, and so should everybody else. Don't forget the funnels. I won't forget the funnels, Martin. Somebody should have probably have messaged me by now saying, please send some funnels somewhere. And if they do, I'm going to put a little printout label in it, say this is on behalf of Martin Dix as well. So you get your own little credit card. I'm not going to put credit card in there. I'm going to put a card crediting you.
Card of credits.
A card of credits. Rolling Thunder says, I can and will. I travel there a lot. So Rolling Thunder comes to the UK. Well then, it's on, I think, officially. Let me know what days you can do. Dude, I'd like to see a Kit Bash Age of Sigmar version of the Gruffalo. Well, I think that's what they... Would that do? Bases look great, says Al Kirkham. Thank you very much, Al. You're a star. And Moogie says, are you planning to enter a WJO team into the 4-player team Age of Sigmar tournament come January? We're talking about it, aren't we?
It's appealing to me.
I can't get my new army. It's frustrating for me because there's no way I could get my new army done on time for that. I won't have even been in a position to buy the models for my new army by then. So... I certainly won't have them painted by then. I was aiming for more like a mid-year for the next tournament, but that doesn't stop me just showing up with Fire Slayers or Sylvaneth.
Sylvaneth is still pretty strong.
I do have to keep reminding myself I've got 3,000 points of Sylvaneth. It's just Sylvaneth when they were at their height was the most efficient way of losing friends.
Yeah.
So I find it quite difficult to play them because they can just be absolutely killer. You know, I know that Mark Potter played Sylvaneth against Jack. Such a challenging army. He was using my Sylvaneth army. So when that battle report goes live, people who've never seen my Sylvaneth army can go check that out. There is definitely on the YouTube channel a Sylvaneth showcase of my army, and I have to say my Alariel is probably one of my favourite models. Don't particularly ever really like my painting that much, but I do like my Alariel.
It's a nice shiny shell.
Shiny shell, good footballer's legs. Right, Martin Dix is saying good night. You know what? If Martin Dix is going, we're going. Okay, so I tell you what, I hope you've enjoyed it anyway. A little bit of a channel update, a little bit of a catch up on what's happening in the community, and a bunch of stuff on what's going on in the Warhammer community. It was always going to be a gentle chat to ease everybody into the week. So I hope you all have a wonderful time this week, and we'll probably see you again next Monday I'm pretty certain it's probably going to be next Monday. There might be a surprise show somewhere along the line this week as well, but because I do need to announce the giveaways for Christmas. But I'm not sure I'll have that done in time. That might be a weekend thing. Right. Good night from me. Good night from him. And well, yeah, I know that. It was a reference to a TV show that you won't remember. Yeah. Night all. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon. All right, cheers then. Bye.
Bye.